getting washed away in you. Breathe me in, breathe me out. I don't know if I could ever go without watermelon sugar high, 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 watermelon sugar high. I just wanna taste it, I just wanna taste it, watermelon sugar high. Tastes like strawberries on a summer evening, and it sounds just like a song. I want your belly and that summer feeling. I don't know if I could ever go without watermelon sugar high, 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 watermelon sugar high. I just wanna taste it, I just wanna taste it, watermelon sugar high. I just wanna taste it, I just wanna taste it, watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar.
Whores in this house, there's some whores in this house, there's some whores in this house, there's some whores in this house.
I said certified free, 7 days a week. Wet ass pussy, make that pull out game weak. Woo. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, you fucking with some wet ass pussy. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass pussy. Give me everything you got for this wet ass pussy. Beat it up, nigga, catch a charge. Extra large and extra hard. Put this pussy right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. Hop on top, I wanna ride. I do a giggle, what is inside? Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes. This pussy is wet, come take a dive. Tie me up like I'm surprised, that's role play. I wear disguise, I want you to park that Big Mac truck right in this little garage. Make it cream, make me scream. Out in public, make a scene. I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you, I got this ring.
Gobble me, swallow me, drip down inside of me. Quick jump out for you, let it get inside of me. I tell them where to put it, never tell them where I'm about to be. I run down on them before I have a nigga running me. Talk your shit, bite your lip. Ask for a call while you ride that dick. You really ain't never got him fucking for a thing. He already made his mind up before he came. Now get your boots, hang your coat for this wet ass pussy. He bought a phone just for pictures of this wet ass pussy. Pay my tuition just to kiss me on this wet ass pussy. Now make it rain if you wanna see some wet ass pussy.
Look, I need a hard hit, I need a deep stroke, I need a Henny drink, I need a weed smoke, not a garden snake, I need a king cobra with a hook in it, hope it lean over. He got some money, then that's where I'm headed. Pussy A1, just like his credit.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I think we have got 240 participants and still going up, coming to join us this evening. I do see quite a number of students over here. Can I just have a short little survey on the comments section? Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good evening, everybody. So can I just know in the comments section, any one of you here tonight, this is your first night joining us? Okay, let's put it this way. Yesterday, we had one seminar with BM. Today is actually the second one. Can I just know how many of you here, if this is your second time, you just type 2. If this tonight is the first time, you type 1. Wow, okay, I can see quite a healthy mix, quite a healthy mix. Yeah, I wasn't talking, I was just moving and looking at the numbers. All right, so I can see 50%, about 50% of you are actually the first time, and then 50% of you all are the second time. Great. All right, for those who are first time joining us tonight, good evening, and welcome to My Tuition Live's second seminar session for today. All right, for this week, in fact, so tonight we've got a super teacher coming up in a short while. I'm going to be introducing who this teacher is. But before I introduce him to you and pass the room for him to take charge and share with you some very interesting and insightful English lessons, I am going to introduce to you first what my tuition is all about. Okay, so that you know really, why we did this and how come, and who am I, in fact. All right, so I'm just gonna have a short 5 minutes with all of you before 8 o'clock comes, and I'm gonna introduce myself first, and I'm gonna also introduce my tuition live to all of you. Right, so I am not your teacher. Okay, I am not teaching you tonight. And I'm basically, well, I was a student just like all of you. In fact, many years ago, when I was in secondary school, just like you all, from 1 to Form 5, I was, in fact, while studying, also a sportsman. So when I was in Form 4, now probably some of you here tonight, right now, you are in Form 4, okay? When I was in Form 4, I actually started representing our country in sports. Which sport? Taekwondo specifically. Okay, so I started representing the country in sports when I was in secondary school, just like you. And when I was sitting for my SPM, I was also still training with the national team. And right after SPM, in fact, 1 year, just a few months after the SPM was over, I actually got selected into the official SEA Games team for the country. And then I came back a year after SPM with a gold medal for our country in this SEA Games in the sport of Taekwondo. And when I was studying, also again, just a little bit about my education background, because I want you to know why am I doing this together with my tuition.life, right? When I was actually studying, all of us, we have to sit for 3 major exams in our schooling days, right? The first one being UPSR when we are in Form 6. So when I was in Form 6, I sat for UPSR just like all of you. And in UPSR at that time, I actually managed to get 5 A's, which was my straight A's lah. So then after that, the second major exams was actually PMR. You don't have PMR. For you, it was called PD3, which to me is even more difficult than PMR. But for my PMR, basically, when I sat for my PMR, I also got my 7 A's, which was at that time also straight A's. And then the final test for our schooling moments, for our schooling years, the final real test came in the form of SPM. And right after that, when I sat for my SPM, and then 3 months after the SPM was over, basically we sat for SPM in December. You will be sitting for yours in January next year, but we sat for ours in December. And 3 months later, we got our results. And 3 months later, when I walked into my school, when I received that slip, I still remember that feeling because, yep, I also graduated from high school, SPM with 9 A's. It was also straight A's as well. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because, students, I want to let you know today that no matter what happens, remember one thing. Every A you receive in your SPM slip will make a difference in your life. Okay, so that is the reason why we did my tuition and we formed this one whole team for all of you. And I'm just going to take a little moment to introduce what my tuition is all about. I'm going to share my screen and you can actually see right now what is in front of me. So I'm going to show you right now what is my tuition all about. My tuition, the future of Malaysian education. Now, some of you may have already heard of us because throughout the few months after MCO started, we actually started to do a lot of programs online as well. Okay, so right now, I think, we will stop the chat first because I want you to really focus on what I want to say. Okay, so right now, stop the chat, focus on what I have to say, and there's going to be a few ground rules before we start with Mr. Jarod. Now, for Mr. Jarod's session, right, you will only be allowed to type when he asks questions, because you know why? When the chat keeps on moving, a lot of students will keep reading it, and when you all read it, you will not be able to focus on what Mr. Jarod will be sharing, and there will be no recording, and there are going to be things that you don't want to miss out, because there are things that we will not share on record. Okay, so we'll start practicing it right now. While I start, we stop chatting so that everyone focuses on the screen. Now that's the first and foremost important rule for tonight. Okay, so great, I can see the chat has already stopped, or maybe someone has already turned off the chat section for me. So okay, what is My Tuition all about? For those who have not heard of us, for the past 6 months we have been out in many media. We were actually featured in Malaysia Kini. We were out in the Edge newspaper, China Press, Free Malaysia Today. We were interviewed by Bernama TV, BFM, The Sun Daily, Trax FM. So why were we interviewed in so many media? It's very simple. Now, when I was a student, just like all of you, I actually had one problem. The problem was this. All of us, if possible, we want to get our straight A's. If we had a choice between getting no A's at all and getting straight A's, if we could actually choose between these two, all of us would choose this option to get straight A's. I believe every one of you would agree with me on that. But we had one problem, and especially me, I had one big problem. My time was so packed because as a national athlete, I trained 10 times a week since I was in Form 1. Right after Form 5, before I head to the SEA Games, I trained 23 times a week. That's equivalent to 4 times a day. And I'm not kidding. This is the real schedule of a national athlete. And when I was in school at Form 4, Form 5, I was already still training 10 times a week, 10 times. Sometimes that's twice. You may ask, there's only 7 days in a week. How? Yeah, because we trained twice a day while I was studying. So timing was an issue. And because timing was an issue, I had to solve this. How? By being able to learn from the best. Because for me, it's just like sports. If you have a good coach, you can be a great athlete. And if you've got a good teacher, you can be a great student as well in studies. So we want to be able to learn from the best. But back at my time, I could only learn from the best that was near me. That is how tuition center works. If the best teacher is in Penang and I'm in KL, there's no way for me to learn from him. So when we started My Tuition, the goal was to connect to every one of you here, the best teacher in this whole country. No matter where you are, no matter where the teachers are, you should be able to learn from them. And that was the goal of mytuition.life. All right, so I want to just share with you, these are actually our past seminars that we have done, roadshows, seminars, programs for students throughout the last 15 years that we have done with our students. In 2015, our seminars was full house. 2016, these are all real photos of our seminars. 2017, in fact, this is the registration queue during our seminar itself. Okay, 2018, 2019, it was also a full house. Why? Again, because we wanted to connect. Even last time without live learning like this, we already wanted to connect teachers to students. All right, the best teachers to the best, to everyone in this country. In fact, if you want to know what is the quality of our teachers, this is our Facebook page, mytuition.life. And if you look at the review section, we are actually currently rated 4.9 out of 5. And it's not by 1 or 2 students, it's by more than 520 students. All right. So this has been happening for many years. And right now, finally, with My Tuition, we can make it unlimited, because if you saw the photos, our seminars were always full house. Students, there will always be every single year students who can't come to our seminar because it's already full. But right now, even we have online, we also have full houses sometimes, So I'm going to now start introducing you first to the teacher who will be teaching you tonight. Okay, but before that, very quick one. I promise you a second round of lucky draw. Again, for those who have not joined us yesterday, this is what we are giving out. We don't have as many as yesterday anymore. We only have 5 more units of this left. Yesterday, we gave out 10, and the winners has already been announced on our Facebook page and also on our Instagram page. So go and check that out, right? This is what we're giving out. What is this? This is, you can actually look at it. Oh, what is this? It looks like a toothpaste. You're absolutely correct. It's just a toothpaste, but it's not a normal toothpaste. You can't even get this in Malaysia. we actually have this sponsored to us, and we brought this in from Korea. It's used by international celebrities. So Malaysia, you don't find this, right? Because it's expensive. One tube of it is 55 ringgit. Your Colgate is probably about $7 or $8. This is 55 per tube, and it's a smaller tube than Colgate. So this is super good. All right, use it, and your teeth will be shining like crazy. Okay, so we only have 5 of these left to be given out. I think maybe 6 will give everything out. I'll check it later, but we'll do a lucky draw. How are you going to win this? Very simple. Right now, I'm just going to give you 1 minute. You can use your phone, go to our Instagram page, mytuition.live. You can just look for mytuition.live. It's really as simple as this, right? Okay, what you do is just follow the page and like the first post that we have that you see. And the first post is actually an announcement of the winner of yesterday's lucky draw. So you can just like it, because you know what? We want to be very easily be able to look for winners. So you just like the post, and we'll go look for it over there. Now, for those who don't have Instagram, just go to our Facebook page. If you have Facebook page, again, like us, mytuition.live, all right? And also just like the first post you see over there, and then we will announce the winner again tomorrow. Okay, great. I think it's already time, 3 minutes after 8. Right now, I am going to introduce this man to you who will be taking over from me. Now, I think you can start opening up the chat. The admin who is helping me, King Fai, who's actually the one behind all this, the tech, the super genius guy who's behind the coding of everything over here. Okay, so you can open up the chat for me. I'm gonna ask every one of you one question, an important question. Have you heard of an Ivy League university? Because if you have not, let me tell you, an Ivy League is not a university. It is a category. It's a category of universities. Okay, and basically, Ivy League is a category. It's a category of the top in the whole of the US. In the whole world, there are thousands of universities in the whole world, thousands, but there are only 8 that are categorized as an Ivy League university, including Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Brown. We've got a lot, 8 of them, all right, basically. But this teacher, this man who's going to be taking over from me for the next 1 hour, he is actually from one of them. If you've never met someone from an Ivy League university, tonight, this is the time for you to meet this person. For me, if you meet someone from an Ivy League, it's an honor. And it's a very, very rare opportunity. You don't just walk out to a mama anywhere and you see someone from the Ivy League, right? But you have that here today. And you can ask him anything you want later afterwards when he allows you to, all right? So he is actually not just a degree holder, he has a master's degree from an Ivy League university, and is here today. Prominent prominent speaker of this English subject. He's got his own YouTube that has got followers to it. So this man over here is also a pemeriksa that I didn't put it over here. Pemeriksa for your kertas as well for SPM. Okay, so every one of you behind the scene, you can start giving a round of applause, a clap to Mr. Jarod. He is coming in here and he is already with us. Mr. Jarod, are you in the house?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Eddie, for such a beautiful and warm and really blown up introduction. Thank you so much. So shall I take over?
Yes, please go ahead. The floor
Okay.
is yours, and enjoy the rest of the session, students. And I'm going to be coming back to see you in probably about a few, half an hour, 45 minutes time when Mr. Jarod cues me in. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Jarod Yong, and I am your teacher for tonight. I'm very curious right now, and I want to know, welcome to my library, by the way. You like it? I want to know where you guys are from. In the chat, key in your state. Your state, come on. Don't you understand English? I see a lot of KL. I see Sarawak, I see Penang, I see KL, I see Selangor, I see Sabah, Perak. Wow, nice. Putrajaya. Anybody from Terengganu or Kelantan? Malacca, hello. And we have a liar in there as well. You're not from Harvard. What nonsense. Terengganu, hello. Perlis, wonderful. Wow. Kedah, Kelantan. All right, wonderful. I'm going to stop the chat. Okay, because it's getting a bit too much. And then some people are writing nonsense over there. So welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. It's to this seminar. It's a pleasure to speak with you. And let me share with you the topic of today. Unfortunately, it wasn't shared in the poster, but yeah, you get to see it right now, don't you? Today, I'm going to be talking about the 4 differences between A and B essays, and this will be for the SPM level, which I believe that you guys are in, Form 4 and Form 5. If you guys are in Form 1, Form 2, or Form 3, you guys are supposed to be coming in next at 9:30. So get lost, please. Those of you who are in kindergarten or primary school, yeah, this is not for you as well. So welcome, everybody. I will be talking about this topic today. And to warm up, why don't we start with a quiz, right? Teachers love to give quizzes, but this will be fun, I promise. This is a geography quiz about the USA. So I will be showing you some pictures of my travels. And I want you to, in the chat, I want you to put down the name of the place. And if you can, the state. All right, you won't be able to Google this because this is all pictures. All right, the first picture here, I'll give you 10 seconds to give me the answer. What is this place? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so this place is Niagara Falls. It's in New York State. What about this place? What is the name of this place? You have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop the chat. Yep, some of you got it right. And a lot of nonsense writers here. This is Mount Rushmore, and it's in South Dakota. What about this place? What is this place? Let me know in the chat. You have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. It's in the US, guys. 3, 2, 1, and stop. Yes, many of you got it right. This is the Grand Canyon in Arizona. This is the next one. What is this place? 10, 9, 8. If you don't know this, you can go and knock your head on the wall. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stopping chat. Yep, this is New York City, and this is the Statue of Liberty, the sign of freedom known all across the world. If you don't know this, yeah, welcome out of your shell. What is this place? Now, this one will be a bit harder. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Stopping chat. Yep, I'm surprised that you guys got it right. This is Hoover Dam. It's named after one of the presidents, and it's Arizona. I think this is the last one. Yep, this is the last one. What is the name of this thing here? And if you can, tell me the name of the place. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stopping chat. It's interesting to see Chinese being written here. This is the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, California. And if you are following the news, I don't know, like students these days, they don't have very good general knowledge. So they generally have no knowledge. Is that you? I hope not. If you follow the news, there has been a fire here lately, and this whole place was burning. And if you look at it from over here, it looks like hell. Yeah, check out the news. Google San Francisco, California fires, and you'll see the pictures. It's amazing, but very tragic as well. Okay, so that's the warm up. I'm glad that you guys are getting to know how Zoom works. And I will be using the chat on and off later on. So please stay tuned. Now, I'm sure you must be wondering, for some of you, who is this guy? Who is Jarod Yong? Let me know. How many of you here are my current students? Can you say me in the chat? Those of you who are not, keep quiet. Yeah, some of you don't know how to keep quiet. I didn't say right, not me. Come on. All right, it's a lot of my current students. Hello, everyone. So good to see you here. Thank you for your support. And there's also hundreds of other strangers that I would love to get to know better. Okay, I'm shutting down the chat because it's like getting out of control. I'm so glad that you guys are here, my current students and also new people that I'm seeing for the first time, 400 plus of you. Let me introduce you to who I am. And mainly why am I doing this is because I want you to take this 1 hour seriously. I don't want you to take this as like some nonsense that you're watching, like you're watching a silly YouTube video. Take this seriously, because a lot of the things that I am sharing here will be very helpful for you if you want to succeed, if you want to score, and if you want to write better essays for your exams or for your life or scholarships or whatever. Okay, take this seriously. So who am I? I'm a teacher. As you know, I teach at a government school. This is the first school that I taught at back in 2009. This is SMK Katibas in the middle of the rainforest. This is in Song, Sarawak, and look at that. It's in the middle of the jungle. It's surrounded by beautiful, beautiful trees, and there are insects as big as your head. So if you're hungry, you can eat them. Not. This is how I get to school from the town. Everybody has to squeeze on a really long wooden boat with all the goodies and other people. That's me and my bicycle. So sometimes I would ride from school in the jungle to town, and that would take me 1.5 hours. But I was young and pretty adventurous. And this is how I got to that school. Currently, I am teaching at this school right now, SMK Tabuan Jaya. All my students say whoop whoop. This is the state sports school in Sarawak. I don't know if you guys are from other sports schools. I've been teaching here for the past 2 years, and I'm really enjoying my really active students. And I know their schedule is really busy, exactly like what Eddie shared earlier. I also have students from all over the world. I taught in the US as well. I taught in New York City, and I taught international students. So these are basically people from countries around the world who have come to New York to learn English, and I was their teacher. So in this picture, you see Russians, you see French people, Thai people, Mexican, Venezuelan people. In this one, you see Egyptians, you see Colombians, you see Chinese people from China. Yeah, and a lot from South America. I also talk to teachers. I deliver speeches at conferences and workshops. And I also deliver workshops for students, but not anymore because of COVID. That's why I'm doing this here with you. Hello, hello. I have also delivered a speech on the TEDx stage. You can Google this up, go to YouTube and search my name and TEDx. You'll find my speech. I spoke about education in Sarawak. And you'll find me also in a very, very small local movie called Rise, Ini Kalilah. You can Google that up and you'll see me making a cameo appearance in that movie. It's a movie about the previous general elections. I have a degree from Victoria University of Wellington, that's in New Zealand. And that degree was obtained with a scholarship from the Ministry of Education through JPA. I know that some of you will be aiming for that as well. And I also have a master's degree from Columbia University. You can see over here that this is my graduation ceremony, and I have the Malaysian flag around my neck proudly because, what is the Ivy League? There are 8 universities, and most Malaysians only know what Harvard is. Even an abang on the street, you ask them, they know what Harvard is. But the other universities, they don't know. Like mine, Columbia University, which is in the city of New York. Now, what is the Ivy League? The Ivy League is one of the oldest and most prestigious and most elitist universities in the US of A. And they are consistently in the top 20, top 10 of world rankings. My university is currently one of the top 10, maybe number 6 or number 7. And these universities are very selective. They only let like less than 10% of the people in. Like in Columbia University, every year, about 40,000 people apply and only 5% get accepted. So I really thank God. I'm really thankful that I got accepted into this university and I got to represent Malaysia at the world stage. And you are here right now. I hope that you will make the best of this time. You will pay attention to what I'm saying. You will take notes or screenshots, but take notes because notes exercise your brain. Screenshot is a stupid thing that you do with your fingers and then you forget about the screenshot many, many days later. Take notes, use a pen, use a paper, use a tablet with a stylus or whatever it is that you use, take notes, all right? You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So I'm very happy that you are here with me, and I hope that I will help you be a better English writer tonight. Okay, let's go. 4 differences between A and B essays. Are you ready to level up? Let me know in the chat. Write 1 if you are. And if you're not, get out because this is not a place for you. All right, shutting down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, many of you are ready. There are 450 people right now in the room. We're going to get started with the first one. 4 differences between A and B essays. What is the first one? First one is this. Are you in kindergarten, guys? Are you? I'm sure that the answer is no, but why are you still using words that you learned in kindergarten? Right now, you are either in Form 5 or Form 4. Why are you still using words that you learned in kindergarten? Those simple vocabulary. Have you leveled up your vocabulary yet? And this is the difference between A and B essays. Those who are writing A essays, they can use precise vocabulary, very specific vocabulary to mean exactly what they want it to mean. Whereas simple vocabulary just doesn't have that flavor. It's just too plain. It's kind of like eating nasi lemak without the sambal. Who does that? I hope that you don't. So let's level up one of your words today. I'll give you a choice. We'll do this tonight. Which word would you want to level up today? Is it number 1, kind, which is an ADJ? What is an ADJ? It's an adjective. Number 2, find, which is a V. What is a V? That's a verb. Is it a 3? Important, ADJ. Once again, what is that? That's an adjective. Or number 4, also, which is an adverb. Let me know in the chat. I'll let you choose. Would you want number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4? Okay, you can only choose 1. I know that some naughty people would choose 2, but I'll ignore you. Okay, let's see what you choose. I see a lot of 3s and 4s. So I'm going to shut things down in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. A lot of you chose 3 and 4. Okay. So I will do 3 and 4. Let's do number 3. Important. Let's level up this word. Wait, why is it not working? Oh yeah, there you go. So instead of important, what should you use? Use this word, decisive. Decisive means important, yeah, but it also means, so the beautiful thing about more complex words is it has layers of meaning. It's not just one meaning, it has like a very specific area where it can be used. So decisive means important, and it also means like something important that decides an outcome. Okay, an action that decides an outcome, put an end to controversy, or clarify a path forward. Don't worry, I'm giving you some examples here. The principal took swift and decisive action to ensure her school was meeting academic goals. So instead of using important, which is like a nasi lemak without sambal, use something like decisive, which has a very specific shade of meaning. It means important, but it also means like it's something that puts an end to a controversy or clarifies a path forward. So this action is very important and very strong, and it creates some kind of outcome, which is this: meeting academic goals. Another example would be Liverpool's decision to sign Salah will prove decisive to their performance in the league. How many of you here are Liverpool fans? Can you send me a flying kiss from far away? All right. If you don't know what Liverpool or Salah is, are you Malaysian? This is a football team in the Premier League, and they just won the league last season. So congratulations to you guys. You can use decisive in these two ways. You can use prove decisive, or you can use decisive action in these two ways. And you can use this like that in your sentences. So I don't know. Okay, I didn't want to do this initially, but if you use this word on social media, you can tag me and I'll give you some feedback on that word. Right? It's 400, and imagine if 470 people tag me on social media, I'll go crazy. But yeah, just do it. Make a sentence, tag me, and I will respond with at least a like. And since you guys chose number 4 as well, we'll do number 4, which is also. Instead of also, why don't you try likewise? How many of you have heard of this word, likewise? Okay. Let me know in the chat. Write yes if you do know the word. Write no if you have never heard of this word before. Beautiful. A lot of you have heard of this word before. Oh, before I shut it, one person said nope. So if you have heard of this word before, treat it as a revision. If you have not, then congratulations. You've upgraded your vocabulary. If you already know this word, are you using these words? If you're not, you need to upgrade your vocabulary. So what is likewise? It means also, in addition, similarly, and in the same way. So this is a direct synonym of also. But this is a word that I rarely see, as a person that grades essays for the ministry. So you might want to think about using this rather than also. My 2-year-old kid can say also. So are you 2 years old? Grow up. Use an adult word. Okay, so here are some examples of how you can use it. So likewise is a very nice, it's very different from also in the way that it's used. You can use likewise like this. After subscribing and following Jarod Yong's social media, my friend suggested I do likewise. So you can talk about something that someone is doing and then do likewise at the end. You can't put also here, but you can put likewise here, which makes this word special and very complex. Manchester City was interested in signing Lionel Messi. Likewise, Real Madrid had contacted his agent. So likewise can be used similar to also or in addition. Actually, this one is in addition or similarly. Okay, so same with this word. If you use this word on social media and you tag me, I will respond. I'll say hi. All right, so this is the first difference. You need to upgrade your vocabulary. What is the second difference? So a lot of the beginner students, so this one is for beginners. A lot of beginner students like mine, some of my students who are here, you will remember that every time I ask you to write something, the first question that comes out of your mouth is, well, what to write? What do I write? No idea. Nadai idea, Cikgu. All right, so let me teach you something here. Use chawats to get ideas for what to write. Do you guys know what chawats is? Well, chawats is the Malay word for, let me show you an old picture of me, a picture of me when I was younger, okay? Check it out. Oh yeah, I used to look like that. Yeah, I know, I work out. Okay, so I will demonstrate how to use chawats with this sentence here, this example here. Michelle makes cupcakes. Now, the C stands for conjunctions. If you have a sentence and you have no idea how to elaborate, memanjangkan, menghuraikan, put one of these at the back. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what they mean. Look for it. Look for the meanings yourself if you don't know, because I don't have time. So conjunctions and or but because. So these are the simple ones. Just put some at the back like this. Michelle makes cupcakes so she can impress John. Now, how many of you here are Michelle? You know, there's a saying, you can throw a stone into a crowd and you'll hit a Michelle, because Michelle is a popular girl's name and John as well, a popular guy's name. So just put a conjunction at the end and voila, you have what you want to write. The A stands for adjectives. Adjectives are used for nouns. And is it beautiful girl or girl beautiful? Where do you put the adjective? Beautiful is the adjective. In front of the noun or behind the noun? Well, you put the adjective in front of the verb. All right, for beginners. So here is the example here. Michelle is the noun, so hardworking Michelle makes cupcakes is the noun, so delicious cupcakes, so she can impress. John is a noun, so charming John. All right, so put in adjectives into your writing to make it better for beginners. Also use WH questions. WH questions, who, what, where, when, how, and why. So I've color-coded the example to make it more obvious to you where the questions are answered. Okay, so Michelle makes cupcakes every morning in her bakery with an expensive machine so she can impress John. So who? Michelle. What? Makes cupcakes. Where? In her bakery. When? Every morning. How? With an expensive machine. Why? So she can impress John. Lucky you. The other A stands for adverbs. Now, adverbs is an advanced version of adjectives, but this is still at the beginner level. You guys have to know this. Adverbs is adjectives for verbs and also for adjectives and sometimes even adverbs themselves. Here are some simple examples: hurriedly, slowly, gently, and kindly. Let me put them in the example sentence. Michelle makes cupcakes passionately so she can deeply impress John. Now, when you put an adverb into a sentence, it kind of makes it more interesting. How do you make cupcakes passionately? How do you do that? Do you like squeeze it with lots of emotion? I don't know. Must be very delicious though. Now, T stands for terms or special terms like idioms, proverbs, and metaphors, which you can add one or two into each essay to make it look impressive. So, for example, Michelle makes cupcakes for the apple of her eye, John. How wonderful. And this is the idiom being used. The apple of her eye means someone that she adores, basically. And finally, the last S stands for senses, as in like, your senses. So we have sight, we have hearing, we have touch, we have smell, we have taste, we have also temperature. You can feel temperature, and you can also feel movement. Now, you don't have to use all of this in every sentence, or even like you don't even have to use all of this in every essay. But one thing that I want to tell you is 99% of students will focus plainly on sight. So if in your essay you talk a little bit about stuff you hear or stuff that you touch or smell or taste or the temperature of the place, or you describe movement, then you are actually elevating your essay to a higher level because you are doing what other people are not doing. So think about that. Don't just write sight. So my example is going to have 3 of these: sight, touch, and taste. Michelle makes soft, touch, and steaming, sight. So when you read this word, you see the steam coming out of the cupcakes that melt in your mouth, taste. And this could be touch as well. Okay. So here are the 6 ways that you can get ideas for writing. This is how you can write more. Tulis lebih panjang, tulis lebih banyak, and also very, very relevant. Remember, jawats, conjunctions, adjectives, WH questions, adverbs, special terms, senses. Now, difference number 3, and this is at the intermediate level, and this is when you have to learn to write complex sentences. Now, a lot of my students don't know how to write complex sentences, or they want some easy fixes, because when you are in the exam, sometimes you're very nervous, you don't want to make mistakes. So remember this: who babi, who, you babi. So use who babi as complex sentence starters. I think you guys know what babi is, right? It's this thing. All right, so I'm going to use this sentence as an example. Ali played football, and I'm going to add who babi to this. Nice. So number 1, the who stands for who, which is used for people, and you can also use which for things, when and while for time. In the example, Ali is a person, people, so I'm going to use who. Ali, who loves to eat noodles, played football. Football is a thing, so I'm going to use which. Which is a popular sport at my school. Since there is no mention of time, I want to add time with when. So when we were growing up. So not today, but in the past when we were growing up. This is one way to make a simple sentence like this a complex sentence. Everybody will remember who babi. You. And number 2, the B stands for before or after, and it is used to mark time. I know a lot of people, they write before that or after that. It's just too plain. Try to make that change the that with something more interesting. All right, for example, before the MCO, Ali played football. After the MCO, we played Mobile Legends together. So instead of before that, like put something in here that is more interesting. Describe the thing in a different way. Show off your vocabulary if you can. But if you can't, then, well, before that is good enough if you are at the beginner level. Number 3, the A is for although. And although is used for contradictions. For example, Ali played football, although he was allergic to grass. Ali played football. So if your sentence is something that is the opposite of the main sentence, then you use although. Okay? Although he was allergic to grass, Ali played football. And the next B stands for because or because of. And you use this for a cause of something. Because of his father's influence, Ali played football. This is some of the easiest ways to make a complex sentence. And the I in the end stands for in order to, which is used for reason. The reason for something. In order to impress the girls at school, Ali played football. How many of you play football and you do it to impress the girls at your school? Not a bad thing to do, something positive at least. And so remember, if you want ideas on how to write complex sentences easily, remember, hubabi. All right, number 4 and the last one. Show, don't tell. And this is an advanced technique because this requires good vocabulary and good grammar and a good command of complex sentences. A lot of good students, they tell. They don't know how to show. All right, that's why this is the advanced difference. And I will show you how to do it. Okay, I will show you examples of tell and the show equivalent. Let's start with the first one. I bumped into my best friend at the supermarket. This is plainly telling. Okay, this is what happened, very plain. And this is what it looks like to show. At the supermarket, while I was pondering over which milk brand was best for my diet. Now, instead of telling at the supermarket, I show you what is done in the supermarket. So in your head, you figured it out. Like, okay, yeah, this guy's at the supermarket without you needing to mention it. A familiar voice called out to me enthusiastically. So my best friend. Instead of saying my best friend, I show you what a best friend would do. A best friend would have a familiar voice and it will call you enthusiastically. Bumped into, rather than directly telling you that I met or I bumped into someone, which is a good vocabulary, actually, bump into. Yeah, this person called out to me. This is how we bumped into each other. I show you that this person called out to me. Okay, that's the difference between tell and show. And I don't need to ask you, right, which one is more interesting? Which one paints a more colorful picture in your brain? Is it tell or is it show? Right? Which one do you think will get the A? This one or this one? It's pretty obvious it's going to be show. The next example, I told her everything about my week, especially about my boyfriend, John. So if you are John, you are lucky today. Now, I told her everything. I gushed exceedingly. Told her everything, right? So this one has the meaning of telling them so much stuff, like a gushing river. And the way it's being told also very enthusiastic as well. So this is a level up word, which means those things. About the one person in my life that makes my heart flutter. So I'm showing you my boyfriend rather than telling you this is my boyfriend. You, by reading this, first you feel the emotion and you figure out, yeah, okay, you like this guy. This is probably your boyfriend, John. Okay, so this is how you show. And you can also do this in the intermediate level or the beginner level, but it requires mastery of complex sentences like these. Okay, now let's move on. This is examples of show, don't tell. How do you do it? I'll give you 4 easy tips on how to show, don't tell. And I'll do it through do's and don'ts. Now, number 1, Don't use basic sensory words like I saw, she heard, she smelled, she tasted, she touched. For example, the room smelled horrible. This is telling. Right? How do you show this? Describe the experience to show senses. So describe the experience. How does it smell horrible? The overwhelming stench of dried sweat and unlaundered clothes was unbearable. Right? Instead of telling you that it smelled horrible, I'm showing you that it smelled horrible. When you read dried sweat, when you read unlaundered clothes and stench, you get the idea that it smelled horrible. But, in this way, you can see things and you can feel and imagine things clearer and better. Now, to me, is informal language. And I think this is very Chinese, like you put to me at the end. In English, it's assumed that you telling the story are the one that is experiencing it. Even like Bahasa Iban speakers, they do this as well. So you don't need to put the to me, right? Which is a common thing that people in Malaysia do for some reason. The next tip is use basic emotional words like overjoyed or enraged. Don't use basic emotional words like I am overjoyed, I'm enraged. Even though these two are very good words, they are just telling. I was extremely worried about my test results. Extremely worried is a nice way to put it, but this is still telling, and it's still at the intermediate or beginner level, right? How do you bring it to the advanced level? By showing. Instead of telling them the emotions, show it by describing body language. Yeah, describe body language to show emotions. So, extremely worried, with sweaty palms and blood drained from my face. I could not stop constantly tapping my feet while waiting at the edge of my seat for my test results. So, by looking at this, I don't have to tell you that I'm extremely worried. You can imagine the feeling, you can imagine this happening to you, and that's how you show emotions. Okay, so take note of this. This is how you level up. I've showed you 4 ways already. And you know what? I like to give you bonus stuff. So let me tell you about the meta writing. Now, if you have already gone to the advanced level, you're already able to show and tell. No, you get able to show, don't tell. How do you be better than the rest of the others who can also show and tell, show, don't tell? You need to think beyond writing. You need to think about the big picture, right? First thing that you need to think about is, what does the reader want? All right. So before I continue, I think Eddie's got something to tell you. Eddie, do you want to come in? Oh, Eddie, you're
All right.
muted.
Okay, I am prepared and I'm in the room. So I see that about 45 minutes have passed. We've got half an hour more to go before the start of the PT3 section. Okay, segment. So for all those who are in here, I'd like to just share with all of you here. Now, today, what Mr. Jarod has taught all of you, you don't leave first because there is still going to be more points that he'll be sharing right after this. I'm going to take 7 minutes of your time to just introduce to you what's going to be happening in mytuition.live in the next 3 months from October until December. Because if you have experienced what Mr. Tan yesterday, Cikgu Tan, and Mr. Jarod today for the past 45 minutes, Mr. Jarod has been sharing the 4 things that could help you level up your writing. Now, he's showing you what you need to do, but how do you do it? I think it is going to take some time, because what he's going to be telling you today is going to be more on what you need to do, but how you're going to achieve that, that takes a lot more practice, and that's going to be happening actually for all subjects from October until December, because all these teachers have already created a special syllabus that is going to be gearing you up for your upcoming SPM. Now, some of you over here in this room has already heard about this yesterday, and I've received actually yesterday, right after Mr. Tan's seminar, there were so many students and parents who actually called even up to midnight. No kidding, yesterday. So I'm just going to tell you what's going to happen, because yesterday there were like the whole flow of parents and students non-stop right after Mr. Tan's class that ended at about 10 p.m. all the way until midnight, 12:30. There were still parents and students talking to us. So I'm just going to tell everyone here who missed the chance to know what's going to be happening in the next 3 months, because the next 3 months, for those who are Form 5 in here, I'm going to tell you, Form 1 until Form 5, 11 years of education. If this was a 10-kilometer journey, all of you are finally at the final 500 meters sprint towards this most important exams of your schooling life, which is the SPM. Whatever you do, every single day when you wake up, before you go to sleep, you have to think about this one thing: SPM, 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 SPM. You may not know it yet, but like I said, every single A will make a difference in your life. I'm very sure Mr. Jarod will agree with me. 10 years later down the road, you will thank yourself for doing this, okay? Just that last final 500 meters, 3 more months to go all the way. And we are here to help you, because we have already assembled a team of super teachers for all of you, including Mr. Jarod. I think you've already seen his background, right? So I'm going to share screen. I'm going to share with you what will happen in the next 3 months. There will, of course, be charges to the classes, definitely. But trust me, it's going to be very affordable. It's going to be very, very cheap compared to your normal tuition centers out there, because what we want is to really help you this time for your SPM. This is the first year of My Tuition's launch, the first year ever. We in fact launched this in January. A lot of people launched their online tuition centers right after MCO kicked in. So it's very last minute. They created a lot of things, pre-last minute. But we actually launched this in January. We already started to create this platform, writing the codes, everything since last year, because we wanted the goal, like I mentioned, before this, all of us, we could only learn from the best that was near us. That is normal tuition center. If the best teacher in Malaysia is in Penang, you will not be able to reach out to them. For example, Mr. Jarod, who's currently in Sarawak, if you're in KL, there's no way. The reason we started this is because we wanted to connect you to all these teachers who's located everywhere in this whole country. We want to connect them to you, and we've successfully done that since January. So right now I'm going to tell you what will these teachers do for you, right? Now, we do have an October to December package for every 1 month. All right, package A will be every 1 month. There will be 4 classes, just like your normal tuition center. And for package A, it will be 80 ringgit for 1 month with any of these teachers. Who are they? I'm going to introduce them to you in a while. For SPM students, you don't want to miss it. Trust me, they are all really, really high profile. Okay, now that's package A. Package B is simple. If it's 2 months, you just times it with 2 for 8 classes for 2 months. Now, that's October to November. But if you're going to take October to December, which is 3 months, package C, then it will be 240. It's times 3. Very simple, very straightforward. But for all of you here, okay, we're going to be doing a special early bird promo. And up to September 30th, we're going to open up this price, which is 650. You can select any teacher you want, 150 for 3 months, and after the 1st of October, it will be back to 80 ringgit per month. Okay, now this is all the way. Until 30th of September. Okay, 150 is only 50 ringgit per month. If you are paying 50 ringgit for your current physical tuition center, I would rather pay 50 ringgit at the same price to learn from one of the best in this country. Okay, now we also have not just this. Now this is for one subject for 3 months, right? Package C. But SPM is not about just one subject. Most of you will be sitting for 9 subjects. So we have come up with a package D, which is going to be more comprehensive. And this, for me, is what all the parents yesterday were calling us all the way until 12:30 at night. All right. So this is actually the package D for all of you, and your focus. Look at this, because this is going to be, for me, the most worth it and the most important package. Package D will be 3+1. What is 3+1? Remember, just now, package C was for 1 subject times with 3 months. Now, if you're going to buy 3 subjects for 3 months, that means 3 package Cs. each package is 150, but if you times it with 3, it is supposed to be 450, correct? Why plus 1? Because if you choose 3 subjects, we are going to give you the 4th subject for free. You can pick any subject you like. You can mix and match, all right? So what you're getting is actually essentially 3 subjects, free one, which is total 4. It's supposed to be 600, but we're going to give it to you at 450. Okay, so the final subject is for free. But not just that, we are going to include to all of you as well past seminar videos by Youth World and My Tuition. My Tuition is under Youth World. Okay, so you can just remember My Tuition. It's going to be past seminar videos. We've been doing seminars. When you saw earlier, before Mr. Jarod came in, I showed you all the full house seminars from all these teachers, all these famous teachers of ours. We have been starting to record all our seminars since 2017. And all these videos are from all these super teachers. We have this, and students who come to our seminar, they actually need to pay 159 ringgit. And if they don't go to our seminar, if they want to just view the videos, they also actually purchase the user ID. And it's also priced at the same price as going to seminars. It's 159, and these are all real prices. We didn't just put in a number there. These are all prices that students pay even for the full house seminars, right? Now for the user IDs, it's the same thing, 159, and it's going to be for 4 subjects here: BM, BI, Maths, Sejarah. BM, BI, Maths, and Sejarah. And let me tell you all these again, who the teachers are. BM, Cikgu Shukri, and Astro Top Tutor. Now this is for seminar, okay? What Mr. Jarod and Mr. Tan doing for October until December is weekly, every week. But on and off, we have seminars like this. And I'm very sure in the next 3 months for paying students, Mr. Jarod and Mr. Tan and all the other teachers will have also very important seminars as well for you all if you're in their classes. Now, we have BM, Cikgu Shukri, Astro Top Tutor. You may have seen him. Mr. Razwal, very famous for MRSM schools because he gets invited. Mr. Shank, who is actually the founder of Jom Belajar TV, you can actually Google him. But the most important, for Sejarah. Sejarah is actually a Ketua Pasukan Pemeriksa Kertas for Form 5. Not just that, I always introduce him this way because this is very impressive. He is the national record holder for the best Sejarah result, SPM, in the whole country. Okay, because he is okay, let me tell you his record. Okay, his record was actually created in the year 2013 because that year his school had 222 SPM candidates. The worst result paling teruk untuk sejarah tahun tersebut, keputusan sejarah SPM paling teruk tahun tersebut ialah A-. Do you even believe that? And wait till I tell you the next thing. How many A- in that school that year? 1 seorang, 221 satu pelajar A+. This is a national record holder. He is the one featured in the video, and in his seminar he focuses, why is it always full house? He focuses and help you on how do you tackle KBAT questions and kertas 2, kertas 3. Very, very good teacher. All these 4 are super. 159, you know what? You pay, we give you the 4th subject for free. We will also give you access to these videos for free as well. You don't have to pay a single cent. 159 market price is the real ticket price and real username to access this price, but no need, we will give it to you. Not just that, a collection of 60 A+ karangan, which is supposed to be 60 ringgit, each karangan 1 ringgit, very cheap already, but we are also going to give it to you. You will have access in your My Tuition account the moment you register. This 60 karangan collection will be given to you. You have access to it. It is according to tema peperiksaan. Next is this, by another TEDx speaker. Every year for Form 5s especially, it is also a full house event. Usually Form 5s, they will always come here and they pay 150 to attend this workshop with us. It is conducted by a TEDx speaker on the most effective way to secure a scholarship. Do you know that you don't have to be a full straight A student to get a scholarship? There are ways to it. It may not be a full scholarship, but you can get a scholarship. And this event right now, we have the recorded live video as well. It's recorded. We will also allow you to watch this. The username you don't have to buy. Usually they have to pay to come to the seminar, or if they don't come, they want to access it, the video, they also need to pay for it. It's the same thing, but you will get access to it too. Not just that. You look at all this, it is already super. All this, I honestly think is already a very, very good deal. Imagine 450 ringgit for 4 subjects for 3 months, plus all this, plus even seminar, you don't even have to pay for it. So it doesn't even end there yet. Wait till I tell you the next thing. The final thing we're going to add to you right now is going to be the most exciting and most interesting one. My tuition, I told you, we've launched this since January. Classes starting from June itself. And most subjects we have from June until December, the classes, right? So what we will do for you all is, if you take package D, not only will we get the videos for you from October until December, because when you attend the classes October to December, maybe you forget, maybe you're sick, you don't feel you don't feel good on, maybe tomorrow there's a class, you don't feel well, you can actually watch it again, because my tuition records the videos for you for 7 days after every class. And you take package D, we will not only just record it for 7 days for access, we'll open up the access October until December for all these 4 subjects that you choose. But not just that, we will also open up not just October to December for any of these 4 subjects that you pick. June until December, we will open it up for you. Even if you've never come to June classes before, we will also open it up from June until September. You don't have to pay this 2,000 plus ringgit, because students who come, okay, maybe it's 2,000 plus when you multiply it by 4 subjects times 7 months times 80 ringgit per month, right? It's 2,240. We will open it up for you. Students, guys, girls, for this next 3 months, my tuition's commitment is not to just earn money. We, at our first year's launch, we really right now want to help our students to get straight A's. We want to have a good branding, we want to have a good image as well, and we want to do this for all of you. 450, imagine 7 months of tuition for 4 subjects. I believe there is no tuition center out there with this sort of teachers level standard that can give you this sort of price. I don't believe so. And with all these goodies intact, it's all about 3,200 ringgit. Everything will only be 450, and it's going to be open for the first 500 students only. Now, I have to tell you this. Yesterday, first 500 students only. Yesterday, up to midnight, 12, midnight, 30 in the morning, midnight, there were still calls coming in. Today, as of today, I have to update you. We've just checked. As of today, we've got 270 already taken up. We have got about 230 seats left for this package D. So be quick, because tonight I see in this room, plus YouTube, we have about 600 students. So it's first come, first serve, because the budget that has been allocated for all this, we have to buy all this and copyright for the seminars for you too. So there's a budget to it. So it's only for the first 500. Yesterday, 270 has been taken. There is about 230 left. So be quick after this, all right? So one last thing is this. The teachers that I want to introduce to you. Anyone, if you select package D, any one of these teachers, you can go for them. Cikgu Tan, very renowned, author of 300 books. To ask any Ketua Panitia or your Guru BM, Ketua Panitia especially, most of them in this whole country would know this man. Already also very famous for authoring more than 300 books. He is also the penulis untuk majalah Pelita Bahasa by Dewan Bahasa dan Pustaka, which is the main authority of BM in our country. This guy here, all right? So Puan Yasmin, Guru Chimlang, top 50 Global Teacher Prize. Next year, she teaches chemistry. Next year, she has just been selected to be the official teacher chaperone, pengiring guru for NASA Space Camp program. We're talking about NASA stuff, and this is the teacher who's teaching you all right? October until December. Also, pemeriksa kertas. And we have Mr. Jarod. Mr. Jarod, if you don't know him, betul lah you babi. Who babi? So, Cikgu Hiri, also if you're taking science, Cikgu Hiri, very sought after seminar speaker. Okay, then we have Cikgu Jaya, Jurulatih Utama Kebangsaan, Jurulatih Utama for economics. Okay, that means he trains teachers as well for this subject. Guru Cemerlang, Dr. J, if you take biology, sought after, real life doctor, and also one who teaches biology. Very good teacher for biology, trust me. Okay, Cikgu Nur Azimah, if you take computer science, Cikgu Nur for perniagaan, Cikgu Tan, Victor Tan, basically a genius to me. At maths, mathematics, accounting, you ask him anything, he'll be able to answer you. This guy has been a straight A scorer all his life, okay? Cikgu Zalipa, Guru Cemerlang, Pemeriksa Kertas, Guru Sumber. What is Guru Sumber? A resource teacher. Teachers refer to her as well. Okay, and the final one, must pass subject, Sejarah. Cikgu Rosde Yasin, another Guru Cemerlang, another Ketua Pasukan Pemeriksa Kertas. He is well known for soalan ramalan. He also authors books. This guy over here, don't miss out because he is very, very renowned when it comes to sejarah. And he will be sharing, actually, a lot of all these teachers will be sharing a lot of ramalan as well. Even Mr. Tan. Mr. Tan, who teaches BM, SPM Ulangan, the most recent in June. Also, his ramalan came out in his book, so you better go and learn from them as well. Cikgu Rosde, also same thing. If you have actually an older friend who took SPM last year, you ask them if they had bought his book. His ramalan also came out. Now he will be personally live teaching you all. Don't miss out on these chances because you've got 3 more months to go. Study smart, not hard. The textbook is going to be this thick. The paper in exams is going to be this thick. Not everything will be coming out. You do need help in analysis on what is important. These teachers are all specially selected for you. Okay, so 450 for 4 subjects, 450 ringgit for 4 subjects, for 7 months access to all the stuff, plus all the seminar videos, everything will be given to you all. All right, so 230 left, be quick. And finally, lucky draw. We do have limited edition Adidas items, Stan Smith, to be given out, 420 ringgit. Adidas apparels, everything here will be given out. How? 1 month, 1 entry. That means if you purchase every month that you purchase, you enroll for 1 month is 1 entry. For example, if you go for package A, it is 1 entry because it's 1 month. Package D, 4 subjects times with 3 months because it's 3 subjects plus 1, so it's 4 times 3 months is 12 entry. We will be doing the draw at the end of this month, and then we'll announce the winner at the first week of October. Okay, so we want you to enjoy learning, and at the same time, these are all sponsored. Don't ask me if they're original. Yes, they are. They are all sponsored. No one's going to sponsor us fake stuff. So we're going to be sending it to you if you win it. We've already had our first round months ago. This is the second round. All right. So these are all real stuff, and we'll be giving out all this. All right, Mr. Jarod, thank you so much. And I will be passing it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Eddie, for sharing all about my tuition and the stuff that we are offering there. Now let me get continued with what I was talking about. So after you have mastered the advanced, you need to think about the meta writing and what does your reader want. So understand the motivation of your audience and give them what they want. That is how you score. That is how you get the scholarship, and that is how you win competitions. So let me talk about exams. When you are asking yourself, like, what does your reader want for exams? Who is your reader? It's the examiners, right? So when you write an essay, you need to ask yourself, how would an examiner grade my essay? You need to see your essay from the perspective of the examiner. You want to make the examiner's life as easy as possible. And this is why exam tips are very, very important. And I will share exam tips with my students in my classes. Now, after that, you ask what is specified in the rubrics. Now, if you are an SPM student, Form 5 right now, for Form 4, the rubrics are not out yet. But for Form 5, if by now you still don't know what the rubrics are, rubrics meaning grading criteria for your essays, you got to find out. Okay, I've already shared it with my classes. Very, very important. And how does your essay, how does my essay compare to the A models? And these two are very important. You need to know where you are so that you know what to aim for, like where you can improve, right? Otherwise, you'll be doing a guessing game, and then in the end, you'll wonder, like, how come I didn't get the grade that I wanted, right? If you don't do this kind of analysis, or if you don't have a teacher to help you do this kind of analysis and share it with you, then you are unfortunately disadvantaged. If you participate in essay competitions, which I did recently, does your essay fully address the competition description, the prompt, the writing prompt, the judging criteria? So look at what the organizer writes about the competition. And after you've written your essay, take a look at your essay and ask yourself, does it fully address the topic? what the competition asks for. And this is to get you qualified. The first question is to get you qualified. If you want to win, the second question is the most important. Did you demonstrate complexity and creativity of thought? Now, complexity and creativity, I'll give you an example later on. These two, how well you do them determines whether you win or not. And finally, if like those of you who are in Form 5, when you go on to further education, you might want to apply for scholarships or university. What does your reader want? You need to ask yourself, what did they say about who they were looking for? These universities and scholarship providers, in their website or in the advertisement, they will say like, okay, they are looking for these kind of candidates. So make sure that you take a look at that and use those points in what you are writing to them. Like many of these applications require a statement, a personal statement, which is an essay about yourself. Another step that people usually don't do is, have you spoken to past winners? If you want a scholarship, if you want to get into a university, it's always good to talk to people who have already won the scholarship or the university. So I myself, I've won a JPA scholarship. I've won a Fulbright scholarship. Fulbright is the world's top education exchange organization. So people like this, they will be able to advise you, give you firsthand information. You can show your essay to them and they can take a look and give you constructive feedback on how you can craft it better. So everybody has something special about them. You know, you have lived in this world for 16, 17 years. There's gotta be something about you that stands out. So how do you make that shine? That's what's important. What have you got to contribute? So these scholarships and these universities, they are looking for people who can contribute in a special way. So everybody has unique skills. How can you contribute it to these organizations? And they are also mainly looking for leaders. So you need to explain, how are you a leader? And how have you demonstrated that you are cut above the rest? Why would they want to give money to you to study? Why do they want to give you a place in your university if it's very selective, right? You need to show that you are at a cut, you are better than other people. You know, being a leader is not about like, oh, you are ketua pengawas. Sometimes as a regular pengawas, you are probably doing more stuff, more like national level or international level stuff compared to a ketua pengawas in another school. Okay, so you need to know like, how can you demonstrate that in your writing? And I have a last bonus here, which is, after thinking about what the reader wants, you need to think about what the other people are doing, what the other people that you are competing with are doing. Now, being aware of what people will be writing and do something different. Rise above the 99%. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Write like the top 1%. So if you are doing scholarship or university applications, you need to do an analysis of the application specifications and also find out about the sponsor's profile. And also look at the past winners. Do an analysis of these three things, because you want to find out like, okay, what are the other people doing? What are the 99% going to write? And how can I make myself look better to this university or to this organization that's going to give me money to do my degree? Now, let me tell you something. 99, I've read a lot of these essays. People come to me and ask me to take a look, and 99% of them will write promises. I promise that if I get this scholarship, I'll do this and that, this and that. Promise? Okay, promise is bull crap. Can I say crap? It's BS, all right? BS. I can promise you like, oh, if you join my tuition class, you will find true love. Tomorrow morning, the first person, I promise you, the first person that you see when you step out of your car is going to be your one true love. BS, right? So 99% of people write promises. They promise to do this or that, like this, all the goody Gandhi stuff. Nobody cares about that. People care about what you've done and what you've experienced where others have not. And how does what you've done or what you've experienced make you better in doing something that they want? So how does it make you a better insert characteristic they want? That's why you need to analyze the specifications. You need to analyze the sponsor's profile, and you look at the past winners. This will give you an idea of what they are looking for. And this is what you need to demonstrate rather than writing promises. Anybody can do it. And very importantly as well, you need to do an analysis of these things because you want to look at how they describe themselves, what adjectives, what language they use. You pick those keywords out and use that language in your writing so that you sound like them. The people who are reading your application are probably the same people who are writing these things. So if they think that, oh wow, this guy sounds like us. Wow, this is a good fit. And there's a higher chance that you will get your scholarship or university application. And I'm sharing this with you because this is what I've done, and I've gotten 2 scholarships for my 2 degrees. And in a few years, I might think about doing a PhD with a scholarship through this method as well. Now, competitions. If you are doing an essay competition, you definitely need to look at what your competitors are doing. So do an analysis of the competition specifications as well as the organizer's profile and look at the past winners if that's available. So let me give you an example of this competition that I joined recently. Prior to Malaysia Day, I joined this competition by Shine Pharmacy, mainly because I saw the handsome amount of money they are offering. Who doesn't like money? Don't lie, you like money too. And the topic is how I shine for Sarawak. So basically, you need to take a picture and in 300 words, write an essay about how you shine for Sarawak and use these hashtags on social media. Make a public post. Now, the best part about this competition is I can click the hashtags and look at what my competition are writing. And when I do that, I realize that, oh man, this is so easy. 99% of my competition either went off topic, like the topic is how I shine, how they shine for Sarawak, but they wrote about how Sarawak shines, how great is Sarawak. So they have already gone off topic, like 80% of them. And that is how, they didn't win the top prizes. Or some of them, they just plainly blew their own horns and they did it in the telling way. If they tried to show rather than tell, they would have done it better. But they blew their own horns too directly. It's just not creative. It's not something that will win you a competition. It might be something that gets you likes on Facebook. Might be. So I did what the 1% would do. I blew my own horn, of course, and I did it creatively. If you want to read this, I can give you a link actually in the chat. So give me a moment. If you want to read what I wrote, it might be good material for you to analyze for your own writing. So what I did was a synecdoche, which is I used my shoe to represent me as a person. And so what I did was creativity, right? Let me show you my previous slide. Right? To win competitions, you need complexity and creativity. So creatively, I talked about my shoe like it was me. And I talked about the shoe doing all these amazing things. And then in the end, I made a social commentary about how people are not supposed to judge too quickly. If you want to know, if you want to judge somebody, at least ask them, talk to them, find out who they are, and then you can decide whether you want to judge them or not. So that is complexity of thought, as well as the vocabulary and stuff that I use to write my essay. So I will put it in the chat so everybody can take a look. I'm not sure if you guys can see it right now. Yeah, I think it's working. And yeah, I won the 500 ringgit grand prize. So do check this out. This is a winning story right here. And there might be some elements in there that you want to pick up and adopt in your own writing. Okay, and if you're writing for an exam, you don't really have to be bothered too much about what the competition is doing. You mainly have to worry about what your reader wants, but it's always good to know as well. Now, in the exam, 99% of people try to write as much as they can. Is that you? You try to like you try to write like 4 or 5, 6. You try to squeeze every little bit of words out of your brain and your fingers. That's a good strategy if you are at the U level, right? What is the U level? Passing grade is E. U is like below E, below passing grade. If you are a student at that level, yeah, write as much as you can so that there's a higher chance of your parts of your essay making sense. So the examiner will give you a higher grade. The examiner sees your effort, the examiner gives you a higher grade. But that's not how you get an A. That's not how you get a B even, by writing as much as you can, because the more that you write, if you don't have a good enough grammar, you will make so many mistakes that your grades will be pulled down by all of this useless writing. Yeah, basically. So what the 1% do is they write with quality rather than quantity. So what takes the 99%, 3 sentences to say, these people can say it in 1 sentence. All right, and how do you do it? You can show, don't tell, right? You read this, it doesn't really say much, but when you read this, it's just so rich. It's saying a lot in a few words. And also this one, like complex sentences. Use this to add, this is, complex sentences. Use this to add more meaning to each sentence. Make each sentence more, like it's kind of like when you eat meat, right? Have you had one of those gourmet burgers? Like burgers where they use like real, like fresh meat that they ground themselves and then they grilled it. You know that it's real meat compared to like Ramly burger and like those like cheap burgers that you buy from the supermarket that you eat when you want a guilty, you want a snack. There is a difference. Okay, so don't write an essay that's like Ramly burger. Write an essay that's like a gourmet burger, basically. You want quality over quantity. So today we learned about, number 1, don't use kindergarten vocabulary, please. I read a lot of essays, like people with good grammar, but they don't use the vocabulary is just too simple. So they can't get higher than a C. Number 2, if you don't have an idea of what to write or how to elaborate or add information to your essay, use Jawats. If you have no idea how to write complex sentences or you're under pressure and you want something simple that you can cut and paste, use Hubabi. And finally, in order to stand out, in order to describe something in such rich detail that you will definitely get an A for, show, don't tell. And in order to really, really stand out, you need to give your readers what they want and more. If your teacher hasn't done it yet, ask your teacher, like, what do I need to do in SPM, like for each individual section of the test paper? Whether it is your teacher at your morning school or your teacher at the tuition center, ask them, find out, because this is very important stuff. You only have 2 hours to answer like so many pages of questions. You need to know how to exactly give your examiner what he or she wants. And finally, rise above the 99%, write like the top 1%. Think different. Think like the top 1% rather than the rest. Okay, do you want to learn more? Do you want to learn in more detail? Do you want to practice what I have shared today? I will give you more information about this in a bit, but let me talk about right now a serious problem that you have. Now, how many SPM candidates do we have each year? Do you know? So each year we have about 400,000 SPM candidates, and this year is not going to be different. How many of them get cemerlang in English 1119? Cemerlang as in like, A- and above. 10%, 20%, 5%? Well, the exact number is around 15% every year. That's not a lot. 85% of students don't get A- or above. How many get kepujian? Because a lot of university applications require at least a kepujian, like a C and above. Not many as well. About 30% each year. And if you're good at maths, you probably figure out that those who get D and below are more than 50%. So if you have a classroom of 50 students, 25 of them are going to get D and below. Only, 15% of 50? Only 7 people will get A- and above, and the rest will get kepujian. And this is reality. This is what is actually happening in Malaysia today. So I want you to think about this. What level are you at now? Are you at the cemerlang level? Are you at kepujian? Or are you below, like D and below, right? Are you happy with where you are? Are you happy being in kepujian or cemerlang or D and below? If you are, great. I'm happy for you as well. If you're not, do you have a good tutor or mentor? Do you have someone that can help you get from kepujian to A? Do you have someone who can make sure that you stay in the A level for SPM? If you're a D and below, do you have someone that can help you get higher, to help you score? If you don't, if you do, great. Make sure that you listen to what your teacher, your mentor, your tutor says. If you don't, you can consider taking my class online. Remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I've shared with you my profile. I've shared with you all the things that I've done. And this is your opportunity to spend a lot of time with me. And if you spend, you need to think about who you spend your time with. If you spend a lot of time with friends who want to study, they're positive, they motivate you, amazing, great. Stay with those friends. Make them your best friends, because SPM is very important, especially for people who don't have money like myself. I needed the scholarship to study. Otherwise, I don't know, maybe I'll be selling laksa in Jalan Alo or something like that, right? And then those of you in KL would come because I'll be selling my laksa in a 6-pack. If your friends are just not motivated, they're not studying, they are playing mobile games all the time, they don't care about their results, but you do, then you might have to rethink who you choose as your friends and spend time with the people who will lift you up and help you to achieve your goals. And I am willing to help you to achieve your SPM goals in English. Okay, so let me know in the chat, what is one thing that you will remember from this seminar? Just one thing, okay? Don't write like a super long. Let me know in the chat. I think I've enabled it. Yeah. Okay, you guys like the Bobby thing, huh? Okay. Tomorrow, go and tell this to your teacher and see how he or she reacts. You remember my face? Oh, thank you. Okay, so I'm glad that that 300 of you, I can't read all your messages. I'm glad that you have taken something away from tonight. Just knowing that makes me feel happy, because doing this was worth your time and my time. So Thank you. You can find out more about me, or you can find out more about my classes at mytuition.live. You can also find me on social media at JarodYJK on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. I also have a WhatsApp group for SPM students. You can join with this link. Make sure you take a picture of this. And I have a YouTube show where I grade SPM essays and give you feedback on how you can improve the essay. So if you need help with writing, you can also send me an email here with your SPM level essay, which is like 350 words with the topic as well. And I will be giving an SPM talk in BM, because on YouTube, you can find a lot of talks about how to get A's, but nothing about how to pass, and nothing in BM. So I want to do that. This is last year of the current SPM. I want to give something to Malaysia, because as you can see, 50% of Malaysians don't do well in English. I want to help them. And I will give this link to my students in my tuition. And I might even put it on social media. So follow me there. Okay, we don't have time for questions. So I want to firstly say thank you so much, so much for staying with me, the 300 something of you. It's been a privilege. It's been a pleasure. I wish you best of luck. I wish you best of health. Stay strong, stay safe. We will overcome COVID-19 and we will help you get the SPM grades that you deserve. That's it from me. You can follow me on social media. You can chat with me there. Tag me if you write sentences. That's it. I gotta go to the next class. Good night, guys. Bye. To my students, love you. Look forward to seeing you in the next class. Good night.